Gender and Development, or GAD, is a development perspective that recognizes the unequal status and situation of women and men in the society. It is a process that is participatory and empowering, equitable, sustainable, free from violence, respectful of human rights, and supportive of self-determination and actualization of human potentials. It is concerned with social construction of gender and its impact on the lives of women and men. The Beijing Declaration and Platform for Action, or BPFA, is the resulting document from the Fourth World Conference on Women held in Beijing in September 1995 during the 50th founding anniversary of the United Nations, which developed the Nairobi Forward-Looking Strategies for the Advancement of Women and the earlier Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, or CEDAW. The CEDAW is an international Bill of Rights for women. It defines what constitutes discrimination against women and sets up an agenda for national action to end discrimination against women. It is an agreement signed by 189 countries, dubbed as the most comprehensive statement about issues concerning women. Philippines is said to be one of the most gender-sensitive country when it comes to policy making. Legislation is in place to cover violence against women and children and other forms of gender-based violence such as rape and sexual harassment. The enactment of the Magna Carta of Women, or MCW, in 2009 seeks to close the gap between policy intent and implementation. It establishes the basic principle that all rights in the Constitution and those rights recognized under international instruments ratified by the Philippines shall be the rights of women to be enjoyed without discrimination. On October 12, 2011, the Gender and Development Accord of Philippine Higher Education instituted a declaration of commitment and partnership among the presidents of the state universities and colleges, other higher education institutions and private higher education institutions. With these mandates, CSU strengthened the institutionalization of GAD and created the GAD Office and Resource Center. The GAD Office envisions a university with empowered men and women who are free from all forms of injustice. On November 2013, the GAD Focal Point System, or GFPS, of the university was institutionalized. This was done by implementing the Philippine Commission on Women Memorandum Circular No. 2011-01. The Technical Working Group, or TWG, representing the different sections or offices of the university, namely the Human Resource Management, Finance, Planning, Research, Extension, Student Services and Welfare, Guidance Services, Infrastructure, Instruction and Sports was formed. All campuses of the university are required to replicate the composition of the GFPS. The university and campus focal person were named, and the GAD Office and Resource Center was established. The daily operation of the center is managed by the university focal person, campus focal person, information officer and office assistant.
When I was the president of Sabena State University, I saw to it that gender and development has been integrated in the different PPAs of the university and in the CVAR consortium. CSU is no different with former agencies I first served, especially in terms of mandate and manpower composition. So even without the recent drumbeating done by the Commission on Higher Education to implement MC 2011-01, or the guidelines for the creation, strengthening, and institutionalization of the gender and development focal point system, it was in my mind to consider GAD as one of the approaches CSU will adopt in its development programs, projects, and activities. That is why, in my few years of service as CSU president, I advocated that gender mainstreaming should be a strategy in the different PPAs. Fortunately, even without pressure and official directives to conduct GAD initiative, there were university GAD advocates who initiated the institutionalization of GAD in CSU. With that initiative, I easily decided to institutionalize God focal point system in the university. God is simply a development approach which focuses on the relations of men and women. Its goal is equitable and sustainable development with women as part of decision making. That is why with God approach, we empower the disadvantaged women, which is about 50% of the population, so that unequal relations will be transformed. CSU, being the only state-run university in the province, has a very big role to play in transforming unequal relations of men and women and different groups of men and women. That is why gender mainstreaming is done in the academy, in administration, and in research and extension. A gender-sensitive working and learning environment would eventually arise in all the campuses of CSU, with the mission of God focal point system to promote the general well-being of every stakeholder, especially the marginalized groups, by addressing gender issues and concern in the academics, administration, research and extension. There is no doubt a community of men and women who are empowered and who are free from all forms of injustice shall emerge. Moreover, I foresee an improved relations of men and women in CSU and its areas of concern because of improved equality in their social, economic, and legal rights, command over productive resources, including education, land, information, and financial resources, and improved equality in their power to influence resource allocation and investment decision in the home, in the community, and at the national level. This is the end goal of God as an approach to development. CSU will do it.
Today, CSU actively employs gender mainstreaming as a strategy to promote the general well-being of every stakeholder, especially the marginalized groups, by addressing gender issues and concerns in academics, administration, research, extension and training. Raising the level of awareness of every stakeholder on GAD and its core messages, to ensure that women and other disadvantaged groups of CSU and its areas of concern shall participate in development projects with utmost dignity, and to alleviate poverty through the integration of gender concerns in the curriculum, and in research, extension and training activities are the goals of GAD. In its first year of integrating GAD approach, CSU conducted numerous gender mainstreaming activities. This includes capability building such as benchmarking from gender-responsive institutions, conducting series of gender sensitivity training, seminars and workshops, and even write shops. The GAD office also produced IEC materials on the use of gender-fair language, primer on GAD and the CSU Unison. The month-long celebration of Women's Month in March 2014, in which CSU actively participated, highlighted, not only the rights and roles of women in development but also their strengths and contributions to progress. A massive participation in the recent 18-day campaign to end violence against women and children, or VACI, were conducted in all campuses to raise the level of awareness of the CSU community on VACI. Quality procedures in the different offices of the university integrate provision of the MCW. This includes provisions which concern instruction, student services, research, extension, training and all administrative services. GAD will also extend support to its target stakeholder through extension activities by providing livelihood trainings and activities in adopted barangays. The training will include technology transfer on processing, labeling and packaging of agriculture, fishery and forestry products. To address the strategic interest and practical needs of women and other vulnerable groups, the GAD office conducted Right Shop on GAD-focused programs and projects on December 2014. CSU will continue exerting its efforts and utilizes its resources to eliminate all forms of gender biases in the university operation. Employing GAD approach through the cooperation of all, especially the officials, CSU will no doubt produce empowered men and women who are free from all forms of injustice.